that can't happen again to forZe.
Yeah, they need some momentum here. They need a strong start. You have to imagine that Sprout will be starting CT side on this one because it is Inferno, it is the map pick of forZe. And from there, Sprout are very solid on Inferno. This is what we were saying when we were looking at these map vetoes and we were looking at where we ended up. This is not a bad map for Sprout. It's not an awful one for them whatsoever. They are more than happy to play it. They've actually got pretty solid win stats on it with this roster as well. 7 wins, 2 losses. Looked very, very clean. And Sprout will be starting over on that CT side of things, of course. forZe with the pressure on them to make an impact. 2 flashes, 2 smokes. Molotov to boot, and it's going to be early aggression actually from Spiddy, peering down the bottom of Banana, trying to find an early head. Going to have to be a little bit cautious because kenzie has crept all the way up, and he is going to back out at just the right moment to stay alive.
Yeah, for now, anyway, there is a bit of a stack towards his B-bomb site, so ideally he's looking for at least a kill before going down, but it's Key who does it all. 3 for himself off the back of that flash that came over from Ral's, looking for more, and it may have even been an ace kind of served to him on a plate right there, but the wild spam of the USP in the end isn't going to be able to land anymore. It's kenzie and Jerry in a 2-on-3. Not the worst of the positions considering how things had kicked off. And, well, now with the killing towards the back of the site on towards Ral's, they've got a very winnable 2v2. Make that a 2-on-1. As faveN's left all alone, they just hold out. They didn't rush that bomb plant. They waited on the smokes to fade and focused on retrieving those kills on the players up close on the bomb site. And while faveN, while he's got time here, he is unfortunately outnumbered, and he decides to kind of park the bus for the moment, wait and see what happens, and I believe was maybe wondering if the bomb was thinking about going elsewhere, but obviously now has that confirmed that the bomb plant is going down. Both players are going to actually just stick together in towards Darker so they can double up, and that's going to be a hard read. To be fair, in a situation like this, though, I think if he spots the first player, it's something that he might actually expect. Either way, it will be very difficult to deal with.
You should have no idea at all. No utility to clear it, of course, on these pistol rounds. Jerry takes the first contact. You can see faveN looking for the second player. Will actually hit the shot, though. Jerry might have gone a little too soon here. faveN running out of ammo, can't quite get it. Goes for the knife and lands it. Damn. He's picked up a kit as well.
Yeah.
I didn't see where he got it, but he's nailed it. faveN finds the 1v2, a knife kill to seal it. Oh my goodness, what a play from faveN. Key looking crispy on the initial contact here. Unlucky not to get even more, and somehow, where does he get this kit? He dives in, and there's a kit behind new boxes, and then just straight out of ammo, goes for the knife, straight around the corner, gets the defuse. Well, that's one hell of a way to start your Inferno.
Yeah, I think that was off Ral's. He must have been the man who went for the kit, because I believe he went down in quad, and well, I mean, I don't even necessarily blame forZe right there, because that double peek when the second player came out from Dark made complete sense, but what can you do when an absolutely ridiculous flick shot is just landed in the end by faveN to go ahead and rip his head off, and obviously comes through with a knife then in the end. Took a nice little route around to get the kit as well. Just kind of planned everything, and it all played out perfectly as well. Again, though, I mean, a pistol round that goes the way of Sprout. It was looking to be forZe's, but now they're going to have to try and come in with a force buy instead, and Slacks off the back of having the knife kill there on faveN, I believe, was dropped the AWP. So straight onto the big green gun, and as you can see, that wasn't really expected. An early pick on towards Jerry, unreturned as there wasn't a player really ready to follow him up, and well, despite the banana control being found for forZe, it's going to be tough for them to get much done here. It's a pretty secure buy in general from Sprout, although they are starting to run down a little bit on nades. They've still got 3 smokes at least.
Could still get interesting over towards this B site. Only 2 players here. Of course, Slacks is here on the big green, but if they can trade him efficiently, this gets very awkward. Flashed off his first angle. Molotov onto the new boxes makes it even more tough, and they're going to flash themselves through the smoke. Slacks on his own, a lot to do. Finds the second, actually legs shalfey through him. Needs more, though, and he's being chased down from 2 angles at once. It will be a 2v3. The site will be conceded. zorte will have the AWP in his hands, and he just misses the opportunity. Didn't quite spot faveN. Needed that kill to make it viable. shalfey now thrust into the 1v3. Low HP, AK in hand. Bomb out in no man's land as well is going to make this transition nightmare fuel. Will be able to grab himself the AWP. That's headed straight out the map. He tries so desperately to get it up onto the roof. And they don't actually know that he didn't manage it, so they're not going to be able to recover the AWP. Okay, we'll take that if you're shalfey. He misses and messes up the throw, but they won't get the AWP, so that's some good economic damage at the very least.
Even if a mass being one of the weapons retained over in the end, so definitely not ideal that they didn't get the up back in the end right there. I'm kind of surprised because it was initially in second oranges when he died anyway, so even if he called over there, they still should have kind of seen it towards oranges, but I think they were looking around dark and stuff, presuming that one of the force players had moved it in an attempt to use it. Nice kill by Ralz. A little bit of a nade behind, I believe, doing some initial damage as well, and, well, a deep nade now on towards Zorte is going to put him on the brink of extinction. I was about to say might even be finished off here. Indeed he is. I thought that was another nade going down. It was just the smoke. Happy enough though to spam away through it, and well, yeah, we weren't really expecting much here. This is pretty straightforward. It's going to be heading up 3-0 for Sprout, and as forZe get onto this gun round, they need to get going. They can't afford to let things get as out of hand as they did in the beginning of Ancient, because it just puts them on the back foot too much. They need to pull off a ridiculous. They needed to pull off a ridiculous comeback, rather, even to make that last game as competitive as it was, let alone to actually get a victory. As 0 casualties are suffered. That's exactly what Sprout want. That makes up for the slightly closer previous one.
Nice and smooth sailing, good utility, good chip damage, and then just feeding that MP9 as well, making sure Ralz gets plenty of kill reward off the back of it. shalfey, a little unfortunate not to land that one extra bullet he needed to take the MP9 away, but won't be too fussed about it as forZe do get their first rifle buy and things start to get a little interesting. And as you said, this is where they need something to get going. forZe taking a tech pause. Something looking a little wobbly on their end, so they're going to look to fix that. And interestingly, Sprout going to go for a little bit of a bonus round. I'm a little surprised that we don't see Ralz upgrading onto something like an M4, maybe even AWP, and then taking the M4A1S off of someone like Slacks. Little surprising, but they're going to go for it. They're going to try and stick around, maybe play that MP9 proactively, and we have got confirmation. Apparently one of the players on the forZe side of things has crashed out. So, as always with CS, there's never an easy game. There's always something that goes wrong, so we're going to wait for that to be fixed.
Yeah, it wouldn't be online CS without at least a technical issue per map. That's how it's got to go. I mean, it's nothing compared to back in the day, though. Even just watching, you'd experience so many technical pauses. When every player needed to have their backup internet and everything. So that's probably still a thing. I just don't think it needs to be used as much. Yeah, into rant mode, I suppose, since we have an indefinite pause.
Yeah,
2 Zortes. I'm sure forZe could wish that they could actually have that, by the way.
I mean, that would certainly bolster their firepower somewhat significantly, but they have lost Jerry by the looks of things, which, as their caller, would be a little bit awkward. I'm hoping the producer will give us a cheeky little HUD refresh here so that we don't end up having double Zorte into this round, because I am going to call it as double Zorte if it is double Zorte. You can trust me on that. There we go. I love him. I love him to bits. I love him to bits. Get it fixed before I start making horrific calls on the cast, but it is going to be a little bit of a bonus round for Sprout. They are going to stick around on that MP9, not opting to upgrade, getting extra utility instead. And immediately, of course, Ralz is going to head out towards Banana, knowing he's got to be up in their faces here to really get anything done. Spots Jerry out on the boost, tries to just trickle a nade over it. Not quite able to get the angle right. Chip damage is still fantastic. Jerry down to 28. shalfey taking a lot of damage in that initial contact as well, and you can see Sprout looking to play the retake, actually, up towards top Banana, going to flash themselves around this corner. Timing going to be everything. forZe looking for the counter, but it's Key swinging the angle instead, who gets the better of the first man. Molotov now forces Norway back, and that's top Banana. A textbook retake from Sprout.
Yeah, and then immediately just, I was going to say beginning their rotation over. They're just going to boost one player, I think, in the spawn for now and actually stick with the 2 players in place. To be fair, those 3 on there should be enough considering the damage that's already been done to a couple of these players on the forZe side. As the push starts to come true, Molly's going in towards the piss, but he's going to be able to just drop the smoke for now. Might even serve as a bit of a distraction for this crossfire between the underneath of balcony and Slacks then to actually find success. Well, they're not even going to bother with anyone around long. They are just fully focused on short and the balcony drop itself. And, well, have been massively slowed down. To be fair, though, Sprout have not yet budged on the rotations. They might actually be kind of in doubt about whether this is still the A commitment or not. Hoping to, I guess, make someone on the Sprout side here get inquisitive, rather, and go for a little bit of a peek, and they do. But they just tear forZe apart. There's not even any shots to be landed, I don't think, right there. There wasn't a chance for forZe to shoot any off. They get torn apart. limb from limb, and well, with that, a very, very smooth 4-0 is going to be taken for Sprout. They did not make that, they didn't really sweat at all going through that round.
Limited time, limited utility. They just didn't have anything to make Sprout uncomfortable, right? That molly onto short caught their first execute off guard. And at that point, you could see Sprout just had all the sight lines in the world. There was no mollies, no flashes. Just a field day on the short hit, all too easy. forZe will be back down onto the pistols. Nice nade damage. Rals and Key both chewing on it. Rals goes down to 16 in that first contact. That's going to cause some very rapid rotations, and you can see forZe wanting to toy with it a little bit. Rals will join the full HP support over towards B. Slacks looks to bolster things up over here. Little HE over the top of the roof. Not going to catch anyone. I think that was meant to drop just a little bit further than it did. And now forZe with a great opportunity. They've got Key to within a couple of Deagle spams. Rals one shot for near enough all of the pistols on the board. That Glock from zorte, the only one that's really going to be struggling. If they can steal away a couple of rifles and a bomb plant, this would be a fantastic round for forZe.
Yeah, it's going to be the goal. As you said, good early damage. A little bit returned at least by Slacks there on towards Jerry. And well, we'll see what can be done because there's not really that much time left on the clock. And considering the 40 seconds that there is, there's a few nades at least for Sprout that should be able to slow things down a small bit. Smoking towards the bomb site. I don't think that quite landed as they intended it to. It ended up falling a little bit short. It leaves quite a bit of room for the player in towards the pillar to still have some vision. He will actually be able to indeed get that trade on towards shalfey because of it. And well, alongside faveN, their good damage is being dished out. Nade in from faveN as well to actually finish off Jerry in the pit. And well, Kenzie, his goal now is just a killer too. And well, that's not even going to be allowed. Good finish from Spitty. It's going to be 5-0 from Sprout. They are looking for the 2-0. That's going to be the goal here. They're off to another very, very early dominant start. The real question is now whether it's going to be a repeat of Ancient where they do start to eventually fall off, or can they keep up this level of dominance?
That was a really nice recovery as well from Sprout in that one. You have to say, considering how rough it was looking in terms of the health, you know, you had Rals tagged down almost to single digits, Key taking a lot of nade damage. Did well just to make sure they only lost the one man. Keep the economy building. Aggressive in this round with the mid take, and Slacks rewarded with the opener. Blinded up, still able to find shalfey. And forZe again, immediately, instantly, in fact, on the back foot. Pressure being applied. Thumb screws being turned. He's a little isolated now. This does start to get a little awkward. He's got to cover a lot of angles at once, including that jump up from underpass. Jerry will get the freebie off the back of that. And now Slacks out in no man's land is going to be found for free. He thought faveN had his back. He didn't. Starts to get awkward. Rals does very well to find Norway, and he's going to have to go through the smoke, through the molly. Jerry, though, again there for the punishment. And faveN, what have you got for us, mate? Essentially a 1v3 in towards this A site. Spitty is on the flank, but faveN has to stay alive, has to buy time. Kenzie, he's the bait. He goes out early, can't find anything. faveN's still alive, is buying so much breathing room, and there's the flank. Jerry swings, but it's not enough. It's Sprout again, who come up clutch. faveN with a huge double kill. They knew where he was. They knew what they have to do. Just about able to get it over the line, and Sprout again saving themselves 6-0. It looks like we've lost a player. We're going to be a hot minute. But another big round that just swings the way of the German roster. Well, majoritively German these days.
Yeah, not fully anymore. You get the Dane in there and the Powell as well in Key. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. We did have a drop out there from Slacks, I believe. He's back, I believe. Is that him back and he's just shown as Jerry until a refresh, or has Jerry just randomly popped up over on that side? I'm not too sure, to be honest. I think he may have returned. No, I think we've just got... Now I'm extra confused. It's actually swapped over to the other side. We seem to have a player dropped out from forZe. Not going well, basically, is the conclusion. But it looks like, here we go, we're actually good. The HUD was just having a massive malfunction on top of the dropouts, making it extra confusing, because that's how it should be. But 6-0 for Sprout. Similar start to Ancient, as we said. forZe, though, not really going to have the guns to challenge as much as I think they'd want to coming into this round right here. You've got an MP7, a MAC-10, and then some pistols to back it. And zorte actually hasn't even bothered to upgrade off of the Glock. He's just got some nades behind it. so that he can be of assistance in that regard. But we'll have to see whether they can actually get the bomb down, if they can get a couple of kills, preferably. As so far they've not really been having a lot of success getting into the bomb sites itself, to be honest.
There's a little bit of a beef stack here from that second side, so Spitty with a lot of work to do does very well to even find two, but the trades are decent. They will get this bomb plant. They will have a 2v3 after plant. With Slacks on the AWP, this not looking great. This could get awkward. 2v3, shalfey on single digits. It is going to be all on Jerry. Molotov won't clear anyone out just yet. Jerry just stays lurking in towards this pit, spotted and dealt with, and the nade simultaneously chimes in. 7 on the board. Sprout continue to find their feet here on Inferno. This CT side continues to dominate. Nobody even really registering at the moment, to be perfectly honest, over on the T side of things. It's a very slow start across the board. I think almost as expected, right? Zorte struggling to have impact on that AWP, losing teammates left, right, and center. Sprout just piling the pressure on.
Damn, this is just such a drastic change in performance from how forZe kind of ended out on that previous map. Even though obviously they lost the final round, just in general, the uptick in performance that they had was insane. And now they just can't get going at all. I did say the op would probably struggle to get into the game a little bit more, and that's definitely the case for Zorte so far. Not only currently sitting on 1 and 7, but also being tagged up pretty heavily, I'm presuming, from a peek down from top mid right there, considering his position at the time of taking the damage in towards the ramp. Either way, it doesn't matter where exactly he was damaged down. Either way, he is just importantly left on 29. So it's not going to be making things any easier. Pretty passive on the A-hold, I do have to say. They've not really been looking to challenge in towards brackets all that often. Rounds is sticking around up close on long as the smoke is in play for now. See, I was going to say whether he wants to stick around as it begins to fade, and he decides he wants to position in towards that cubby. Ral's good for 1, and he gets away with a second. If he manages any more here, it would be an absolute miracle. And no, he's not able to actually get anything else in the end. The AK not going to be really given the time to get anything done. But he does enough with the 2 kills. He slows them down massively. There's just the 40 seconds or so remaining now, of course, with a man advantage in favor of Sprout, and with the op posted up over towards Banana, they've got this early warning system and a little bit of a bait and switch.
Oh, this is so smart. There's nowhere they ever expect Key to be there, and he only has to go 1 for 1. It's a perfectly decent trade. Still 2 players posted up on A. They're going to be held off by this utility. Timing going to be everything. They are actually going to recommit, and oh no, forZe. With 18 seconds left, they're going to walk into the stack side. 2 players here ready to receive. Kenzie does deal with 1, and now Faven on his own has to stay alive and does. Buys the time, gets the second. Of course he does. Faven continues to be an epic anchor for Sprout. 11 and 1 at the moment. This is just getting a little bit ridiculous. 8 and 0, guaranteed lead at the half for Sprout. forZe just sat scratching their heads at this point, really. They've tried a little bit of everything. Everyone's had an answer. Sprout every time have come up with the goods.
Yeah, even when you get the bit of challenge from forZe, Sprout managed to claw their way back in, but there's been a few rounds in the mix as well that have been a bit more one-sided to still ensure a pretty stable economy. Norvi yet to get a kill, I believe, actually sitting 0-8 right there. That is not ideal at all. No one's really getting going all that much, though, so you can't really put the blame on towards one man. But Sprout already halfway to that finish line up on 8. This is way, way faster than I thought we'd be getting either of these teams reaching this scoreline. Inferno, I mean, statistically should have shaped up to be a very competitive map between these two, as Spitty is pretty much gifted that kill there on towards shalfey. Gets caught off guard, stepping out with the 8, I believe, in hand. Slacks, it actually does land that shot. I thought he missed it, but no, it's the wooden palace, so he only does 51 damage, unfortunately. And Kean towards the arch got taken down, so now, I was going to say Slacks needs to be very cautious of that flank, and they're actually going to make it past them. Ral's now being hunted down and is forced to drop the molly, and he does enough to keep them in position for Slacks, who actually doesn't land. He misses twice and decides to stick around even after that first miss, which is a bit surprising. And it's just fallen apart for Sprout now. This is forZe's best opportunity so far. And with only Spitty left standing, surely they can't let this one go.
What was that? I have no idea what just happened. forZe just seemed to win 4 or 5 fights, and Sprout just lost them. An awkward way to go down, but this one should be forZe's first. And a big opener at that. They needed something. Needed something just to breathe life into that T side. Spitty hanging around, seeing if maybe there's some exits to be offered up. But forZe keeping 4 rifles will be absolutely huge for them economically. So they're going to look for the safest possible route out of here. And a little bit of chaos works out perfectly. Couple of missed shots, punish. Slacks needed to hit those. If he hits 1, 2, then he locks that down, right? He denies the split, gets bomb out in the open. Instead, punished, missed shots. Spitty will save the AWP for him. He will have another opportunity to use it, but needed that one to go well. Really did, even after this free opening pick, right? And it's that late wrap. Just works out so beautifully for the T side to get their opening.
Yeah, it was kind of the confusion and the chaos of everything, I think, that ended up working in their favor in the end. But as I said, Slack's kind of getting a bit too aggressive there in the spawn, misses a couple of shots that I think were kind of uncharacteristic of him as well. It was a strange round all around. We'll have to see whether forZe now can actually capitalize and start building off the back of that round win, because they need to take this one, get one more off the back of it. With that, then you've fully broken down Sprout, and you can forget about the fact that it was at 1.80. You can actually building up something for yourself. We'll see whether that can be done or not. A 3-man banana stack is an interesting approach here late on into the round. They are looking to get a bit more aggressive with the nades, at least. Do force that one player out of position, but as you can see, forZe have already got 2 players up on long. They're going in for a very quick A-wrap, leaving only the 1 player on the bomb site itself, a man in towards the pit 10 as well to deal with it, although they decide, I believe, here to pretty much calm things down. Basically, last second, it has allowed for multiple rotates, though, to come in, with Ralds and Library, with another player in towards the arch. It makes things interesting here as to whether they want to maybe even decide to start moving back in the other direction, but it might cost them in the long run. Favin's gone ahead and gotten himself a kill already. Jerry not able to tap any of the heads from long, so it looks like they're actually being forced back down mid and over towards potentially Banana, where I think things will be too much easier for them, to be honest.
Rotations have started to back away. Timing's going to be everything. Key is there, but they're going to recommit. Oh. And they're going to recommit into the stacked A site with 30 seconds left on the clock. Smokes come out. They want this bracket control. There's 3 players in the site. Rals will lock out the rotation. 4 on 3 inside of the site itself. Flashes over the top. Do blind up Slacks early. He's isolated on the site. The Spitty spray down's good, and the connections continue coming. Too many players. It's just overwhelming, and Sprout immediately respond. As soon as the chaos abates, they find their success once again. And all too cleanly, once again, right? Very limited damage. Simple CS done very, very well. Favin continuing to find impact across the board. And, I mean, they don't even lose a man in that hit. That's against a full rifle buy. And they just decimate it on entry.
Yeah, I mean, but the raids are just working out perfectly for them as well. It's not just the individuals and how they're playing right there. I mean, it looked like it wasn't going to when they started to rotate Rals back from B over towards A, but last second then you see forZe again kind of doubt themselves and bring it back on towards that stacked bomb site, and they just had no chance. Shalfey, though, he's had 2 nasty headshots in towards that B bomb site already, taking out Rals and Slacks. But a molly at least is enough to slow them down for the moment. But I don't think forZe are worried about that. With the 5-on-3, they can slow it down. They can group up and just move really anywhere as a unit and ensure that they have the favorable position. As I say that, though, the lurker does go down. He deciding to then go aggressive into that construction smoke is going to get himself one before he falls. I don't know if that was a great idea, to be honest. They needed a little bit more. Now they're left in a pretty tough 2-on-3 retake. And while they do have decent money here, I'm not sure it's all that worthwhile going for the retake unless they find an early kill here to really kick things off.
Yeah, they're going to have a look in. Have them with a little bit of a prod and a poke. Spitty seeing if anything's given up on Banana, but forZe are happy just to bunker down. Knowing that every round at this point, honestly, is going to be critical for them. Jerry and Norway start to look like exit. Favin only able to get 1. I think if he gets the second there, then maybe we see Spitty start to swing with that kit and try and get something going, but not able to land it. Second round on the board. forZe will be able to keep a couple of rifles going. Spitty will be allowed to save his 4A1S. They are starting to find a little bit of recovery for us. That individual skill starting to shine through. shalfey with a couple of big entries, but again, it doesn't feel that sustainable. They're finding odd and occasional moments of brilliance, scattered in and amongst a very rough T side.
Yeah, it's not really enough, as you said. They're going to need a lot more consistent performance here across the board. But if shalfey at least can deliver some more entries like that, it definitely will be a help. Let's see whether that's going to happen or not. Zorte actually up on the angle. Ral's just about stopped showing a pixel there of his side as he posted it up, so that could have been pretty dangerous. And it ends up working out in their favor instead with a little bit of a nade stack going in. It's not Zorte even who takes the brunt of the damage. It was Norvi instead, I think, who was even slightly to the right of him. Landed a bit more directly on top of him. Falling down on oranges, and, well, I believe they're going to look to push in towards B, but they've gotten mollied off themselves. The one lurker over towards long has been taken out. And, well, I was going to say it's going to be difficult now for them to get moving in towards the bomb site, but a kill from Jerry around the edge of the smoke pushes them forward. He isn't able to land as he gets a bit of a spray down and does some tremendous damage, but all he could see was the heads right there. He doesn't come away with a kill, unfortunately. It's 3-on-4 now, needed in this retake, and are they actually aware of how much damage they've done is the question.
Going to be a big question to answer as well. Molly goes the wrong way. Norway will tuck himself into dark. They've got so much chip damage. Near enough, everybody's tagged up. Norway takes another nade, goes down to 21, but they're not finding the picks thereafter. Smoke now starts to isolate things. Second goes in from Fatman. Pop flash over the top. They know they've got to isolate these fights now, and Norway strikes at the perfect moment. Gets two. That's it. Game over. Damage is irrelevant at this point. Norway will go down with the ship, sure, but it's a third round. forZe pummeling that B bomb site for all it's worth, and they continue to come away with success here. Third round on the board. They've started to find the antidote to Sprout's CT side. This one looks like it might have a little more life in it yet. Big pick from Jerry there, and Fathom just too many angles, not enough time. Norway crisp to take Slacks out of the occasion as well. One more round and they break the economy, and a real solid shot at a 9-6.
Yeah, that little gap they left in the banana smoke there for the initial kill to come through for Jerry, though, was a big one that came back to bite them in the butt. They'll have to make sure their smokes are a bit cleaner from now on, and, well, they may not really need to worry about the smokes too much. They just decide instead of deep smoke on banana, pretty hard to miss. They'll charge down and, well, they'll catch a couple of players who are looking for that banana control, as forZe have in pretty much every round so far. So that's a good response to swap things up a small bit. Slacks catches the kill over an apps as well. And forZe, before they can really get a thought process of what's going on in this round, are already completely shut out of it.
There's the response. Again, just dialing it up a notch, right? When the pressure's on, feels like this half was starting just to slip away from them, just to start to give forZe a look in, a foot in the door. And, well, they slammed that door on their toes, leaving forZe limping. zorte trying to save this AWP into the next, because they haven't been given an opportunity to build their economy either. Even in those few rounds they've scraped together, Sprout have kept them at arm's length. They've kept punishing, kept taking rifles away at every opportunity. As a result, a full 40-second save. A Jame classic going to be coming out from zorte. Sprout looking very, very solid, you have to say. You know, they've been this team. We've watched a lot of them. They have been knocking around the SEO Premier, where me and Dean spend a lot of our time for a long old time. And this is really solid stuff from them. They are looking in frightening form, you have to say, for some of these other teams as they start to try and hunt zorte down.
Yeah, I mean, it's still relatively early days for this roster, and I mean, we've seen the issue of closing things out on Ancient, for example, but it's definitely the best that they've looked in a couple of the seasons. I mean, 2-3, zorte unfortunately goes down there in the end as well, which is going to be a little bit of a pain for him, considering now he's not really rocking the greatest of economy there with only 2,800. But yeah, my point was, obviously, 2-3 seasons ago, you had Sprout who were challenging for the victory. Then they start making changes, and they just kind of struggle to really get things going. They'd have very high skill ceilings, and we'd see some matches where they'd have a lot of success, but it didn't really seem to be coming together for them in Premier. But it looks like this roster, to me, is one that can make it happen. It seems like the roles mesh a lot better. And as I was saying, as we had heard from Slacks himself when they were having a little bit of a chat, he feels much more comfortable in the team, which I think leads to a lot of success for them. well, because if he's able to work that up, it gives the rest of the riflers, such as Key and Rals and Favin, I mean, there's just so many talented names on this team. We'll have to see. This round, though, we weren't expecting really anything with the pistols in play, but you're always pretty hopeful that maybe a little bit at least can be done, and, well, that doesn't seem to be happening, sadly.
Job done, really. Zorte alone, deep down the ramp. 1v5. And there's the punishment. Riles on the MP9, making it look very, very smooth. 11-3. And yeah, these Deagles not allowed to get anything. Not like Ancient, where we saw Zorte ripping a couple heads off, making it a little expensive, right? Keeping Sprout on their toes. Instead, it's just a complete mop-up from the CT side. Timeouts being taken, and you have to wonder if forZe maybe should have taken one of their timeouts a little sooner. We saw a lot of them on Ancient. Traditionally, at this level, they're underutilized, and I think in this case, you can say they definitely were, as forZe are going to scrape together their last buy of the half, a Galil, couple of AKs. Norway can pick up an AK of his own. Zorte not going to be able to get the AWP into the last round of the half. Opportunity for Sprout, potentially going to be leading 12-3 on forZe's map pick going into the half. This is looking like a very, very clean 2-0 for the Germans at the moment.
Yeah, we're really not getting a lot of resistance here on Inferno like we did back on Ancient, where they at least came alive in that first half and obviously brought it up towards 7 before the second half was where it really got out of hand. This time Sprout just looked to be carrying over the momentum of the first map win, and well, Favin in towards the apps actually comes through with a second on the Ken, and well, wasn't too far off actually getting maybe even a little bit more right there, but the crosshair doesn't quite line up with the head. And although shalfey will be dinked down to 5 health in the process, the 3-on-4 here, maybe forZe can still get something done from it. They need to anyway. They're not going to be prioritizing anything else. Final round of the half, so it is all in at this stage. And well, Key is going to be playing alone around Banana. It's going to be hard to catch him in fairness, because he's just playing the jump peek for the info so that he can call for those rotations to come in. But it actually looks like shalfey, at the very least, is being given the opportunity to get up close here without being spotted.
Timing's going to be everything here. If shalfey can punish, then it could get ugly, but he's able to back away. Smoke goes down exactly according to protocol. And now you can see forZe with 40 seconds left, some big decisions to make. They've got enough utility for an execute, but they're only going to be able to do it once. They try and sell it out A with a little bit of scraps. A couple of flashes of smoke, not much else. And they start to queue things up over towards this B site. A little isolated is Key. He's only got the one flashbang as well. Very limited utility. That late smoke is going to keep Slacks busy. Over towards this B site. Zorte is doing a fantastic job of just making noise, tapping away, finds one, and now Key on his own. shalfey is low HP. If he can deal with Norway first, this becomes viable, and Norway charges in. The spray down connects. It's 12-3 as we head into the halftime break. Sprout looking utterly dominant, and forZe in need of a miracle. We'll have to see if they can pull one off.
I'm sick of waiting. I'll be yours for the taking. But I just wanna know, oh, 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 yeah. If we should take it slow, oh, 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 yeah. I just wanna show you I'd do anything for you.
Another dominant first half performance from Sprout as they'll be looking to put this one to bed nice and cleanly. 12-3 up as we head into the second half, and this pistol looking utterly essential, Dean.
Yeah, and I mean, their track record so far on these pistols hasn't been very good. It's 0 for 3 for 4. Sprout have taken them all so far, and they'll be looking to try and continue that trend, but the flashes are making it a bit more awkward. Norby somehow getting away with a kill. He will eventually be traded, but to be honest, being trapped in behind the car that entire time and to come away with the frag, and then for shalfey to also trade it out to give them the advantage now, that is a spectacular find. I think that plays out better than they could have imagined in the end. And they're even deciding to actually re-aggress, I believe. They're on banana with shalfey going forward, so he might be able to confirm that they've all begun to leave. The bomb either way was actually spotted starting to move up mid. So we should see these rotations starting to come true, although you're going to have Rals, I believe, hoping to keep a player around on B there, and maybe even hoping to pull more rotations back, but all that really happens is he loses his life.
Well, they're demolished. Okay. Fine. forZe, good stuff. Really clean stuff, in fact. A little bit of a brawl top B initially. There really wasn't much more than that, was there? A few clean headshots come in, and they just tap away at 3 isolated players to find 3 quick kills. And that's exactly the start forZe would have needed, right? They needed some early headshots. That is nasty as that. Just getting warmed up, start to feel your way into the game. You know, you've not had much of an opportunity on that T side whatsoever to really have any impact at all. So a couple of clean headshots in the pistol make it feel nice and smooth. And well, as a result, without even a bomb plant to speak of, it's a very limited half buy from Sprout. Really no buy at all. Other than forZe, he'll get himself a deagle to see if maybe he can take the head off someone. Other than that, it's full Glocks. It's really going to be a nothing round, one of those ones that they'll just be looking not to farm up the MP9s at the end of the day. Maybe squeeze out a bomb plant would be amazing, but in all reality, just make sure you're dying to the rifles.
Yeah, ideally. Maybe not zorte. I mean, even though he's got the M4, you don't want to give him too much towards the op if he wants to get that in play on the CT side. That could maybe be the thing to change the pace of this matchup if he can get the op going early and win out some of those early duels against slacks. Oh, his nade is going to be nasty. Nice and juicy. Lands on the legs there of forZe. It's actually Key who takes the majority of the damage. Yeah, sorry, he was on bottom. I had it the wrong way around. Either way, good damage being dealt out early on. The MP9 should have a decent opportunity to get things kind of going as this push looks to come over towards B eventually. There's not a ton of time left either for them to actually get going. So they're, unfortunately, Wolfie walking into both of these MP9s. Yeah. And a nice little boost for Norby as well. I like this position.
Should be an absolute farm up at this point. Lambs to the slaughter. Dink onto Jerry early. That makes them away from Norby. Okay, forZe gets one. Okay, forZe grabs another. And that will be the bomb plant. That is exactly what they needed. 2 kills, bomb plant. Job done. Zorte will start to steady the ship. Rals in this 1v3. MP9 in hand. That flash was gorgeous, but Zorte full blind will just keep on spraying. And, well, I mean, as much as that looks like an easy mop-up, that is far more than you could have ever really asked, isn't it? 2 kills, admittedly both the MP9s, but it gets you the site, it gets you the bomb plant. That's perfect from forZe.
He's just nuts. I don't know what's up with forZe in this game right now. He's 25-7 after that round. But it just kind of shows you the versatility that this Sprout lineup has. There's so many different players that you can really have popping off and having a performance like this. Obviously, forZe, he's been here for a long time and has always been capable of doing this. Slacks is able to do it on the up, as we've seen at points. Key has been a really good addition. I've seen him have some really good games as well. Rals was a clutch master in the first half of that previous game. All the pieces seem to be there for them, and then the experience of Speedy, obviously, to help lead. It is a very enjoyable Sprout lineup to watch. As forZe now, they need to start winning. They'll have to take themselves victory here in this gun round if they want to get themselves a chance to get going, to try and potentially pull this back towards Dust 2 as the decider. Looks like brackets control is the goal now for Sprout, and a good nade actually in on towards shalfey. He's not going to be feeling happy about that. Down to 47 already. The counter nade doesn't really do too much damage either, so For now, things looking slightly favourable for Sprout, but it won't really be decided until these battles come in. And I was going to say that'll be when the smoke fades away, but no, Spitty charges through and actually catches shalfey with some sort of nade in his hand. That is very unfortunate.
Big timing, and as a result, it's pulled rotations. Sprout have looked to double back over towards a very isolated Norway over on B. Nobody even close to making the rotation. The timing is going to be critical here. They will start to smell a rat. No presence in towards mid, and here we go. They burst through. Timing is perfect. Norway completely blinded. No man's land. Nothing he could do. Jerry will clear the close angle, and Faven's Krieg won't be good for it. The retake feels like it's on here. Slacks has taken a lot of nade damage on that plant as well. A second may well finish him off, and that's going to go perfectly into place. Nice kill for Jerry. Buys them the 3-on-3. Buys them a viable retake at the very least. They've got utility, handful of flashes, smoke to isolate these fights. That smoke goes down towards Banana. There's the first man cut off from the support line. Spitty spamming through, just trying to buy a little bit of time, but zorte finds the kill. Ryle's good for one on the response, but it's on to Key in the 1v2, and he will clutch it up. Beautifully played out of Dark, just baiting and switching amongst themselves. Sprout, that's the 13th. That's the economy breaker as well for forZe. And it's all off the back of this, like you said, caught with a nade in hand. Causes the rotation, buys them just enough room. It goes down to the last man, but Sprout will not care. That's an economic break point, and it's a huge round for them to win.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, nice control as well there from Key in the back to actually get things clutched out in the end, not letting the pressure get to him, but forZe, they've got to be upset with how things are going down right now. I mean, one positive is obviously that this is a double elimination bracket, so it's not like they're going to be sent home or anything. They'll be going straight into a follow-up game against the loser of the Spirit versus Double Pony game if they do drop this one here. But I don't think that'll get too much easier in fairness. Worth noting though, that new Spirit lineup seems to be doing a pretty good job. It looks like Double Pony might be the ones that'll be sent down to the lower bracket. Hang on though, because walking into a bit of a stack right now, these pistols are getting some serious damage done. Slacks is going to be helping them out as well as a team kill comes in. He is the only man that actually responds with a frag onto forZe though as well, in fairness to him. So he's contributed to his own team as well as the enemy team. But either way, Spitty and Slacks are left in a very difficult position now trying to recover. Neither of them looking really all that healthy either. They're going to need to ideally catch someone off guard here to get this initial pick so that they can do so cleanly.
It's going to be rough. They've got the rifles. They're going to start rotating. Timing is everything here. Kenzie knows it. Spotted out on site. He'll be screaming for these rotations. He's going to go down. That should be the plant. Spitty tucks himself in towards the pit. They haven't got armor behind these rifles. So as that numbers are punched in, they haven't got utility. Aim punch will be an issue. Shalfey's got some armor, but no head, and Spitty takes full advantage. The Galil rips it clean from his shoulders to buy an even 2-on-2. Jerry, low HP, looking to creep his way around from short. Zorte's still stuck. He's just starting to make his way out now. Spotted, tapped away, dealt with by Spitty. And now that crossfire starts to take purchase, and you can see Jerry knows in the back of his mind this was such a promising situation, but he's going to have to bail out of it. Saving the AK-47 is not a bad nab, but they would have hoped for so much more forZe. They had their chance. Sprout walked into the stack. They got demolished by it. But once again, Slacks and Spitty able to bail them out of dodge. 14 on the board. 2 away from victory.
Damn, we've had some mad moments here so far, but yeah, I mean, at least as you said, Jerry does get himself that AK to carry over, but it was just such a winnable round at one point right there. We're given the bit of help, as I had mentioned, by the team kill from Slacks as well, on top of their successful stack towards B, but I mean, there's been so many moments like this where it comes close. Back on Ancient there was as well, and a lot of those gun rounds that went Sprout's way. It seems like these clutch moments, they manage to always be ground out by Sprout. And this isn't really all that great of a buy, if I'm being honest. 2 FAMASs in there. Nades wise, it's decent enough for forZe. But I guess they're not really feeling too comfortable with the utility, considering they've called in for this A stack. But it seems to be the perfect choice, if we're being honest, because already all of their players are over towards this A side of the map and are looking to try and control, and they're straight up shut down by zorte, getting himself 2 kills initially. but we still somehow end up in a 3-on-3. I'm honestly not really too sure how. The bomb's
Kenzie's
in on mid, though.
Kenzie is everything. He's going to strike out of the mini pit. No idea at all, but he'll be traded freely. It's 4 times for Slack, but through the smoke, Jerry's got him. They call the stack. It's the perfect move for forZe. 4 players ready to receive. It breaks the economy somewhat for Sprout as well. This one's just one of those things. They made a big call. They made a big move, and it works out just about. The trade's flushing out these remaining players. Jerry, there's got to be a crack in that smoke because he fires it off perfectly timed. 14-6. forZe will not go down without a fight. It is going to be the force spike coming out from Sprout, aware that they've got a nice 8-round buffer. Warp in the hand of Slacks, handful of pistols, 1 AK-47 for Faven. How much impact can these sporadic rifles really have, though? That's going to be the question. Faven tagged up early over the top of the smoke.
Yeah, it's not a ton of damage, but definitely is still enough to help out with the FAMAS and such in play. Spitty with the dig up here, and Apps, I was going to say, a bit dangerous. He decides to just walk through that smoke, but now he's going for a bit of a wild spam instead, hoping to draw some attention, I suppose. But obviously everyone else ready to move over towards B, and with how passive the hold is actually towards this B bomb site in general, this could be the play for Sprout right now. Slacks already catching the open, and there is Norvi. He wanted to play on the shoulder peaks to try and just get info about when the push was coming forward, and unfortunately that just doesn't work out for him. Zorte's not able to land anything on the spam either as they cross over and take control of the bomb site now. Despite this being a very weak buy from Sprout, it could be the one to bring them up to map and serious point right now, unless forZe have a spectacular retake in the back pocket. And well, there's a good start at least taking out the lurker, but they need to get a move on. One player still miles away. That small bit of team damage, that's not really going to be helping either.
No smoke for Slacks. He'll play ahead of the first. Clean headshot to Jerry. Playing aggressive Faven with another on the rifle, and it's falling apart now. It really is. forZe, what a round. What a way for it to go down. Key on the deagle finds another. Shalfey, they know where he is. They want blood, they smell it, and they will get it as well. 15-6 for Sprout. Rals converting on the FAMAS, saving the rifles across. Look at the economy for forZe. They are broken. There is nothing. This was the round that they had to win smoothly. Instead, they played passively onto the B site. Slacks' AWP is given free reign, and as a result, it's another one down the drain. 15-6. This is going to be such a scrappy buy. I'm waiting for it to come up. Yep. 5-7, Deagle, CZs. The MP9 is the best weapon forZe can afford. Meanwhile, it's an absolute shooting gallery for Sprout. Rals drops down to the Galil to get utility. So does Faven, but there's a 4A1S for Key. He's got a better rifle, a better CT rifle than anyone on the CT side. AK for Spitty, of course. Slacks continuing on that AWP. The Sprout look to put the final nail in the coffin. One more round required.
Yeah, that was a strange one. As you said, I didn't love the retake setup towards B. This time they've taken pretty much the opposite approach with a bit of a stack going in, considering they're on the weaker weapons. But despite the early kind of banana control and early presence around that area from Sprout, it doesn't seem like they're really too interested in the B bomb site. Instead, moving up mid, and this might be perfect. There's 2 players in on long, sure, but if they manage to just get out mid and move up short quickly, they could almost completely avoid the A players until they got to within a position where the range of Curse fighting towards Moto would be in their favor. For now, though, slowed down by the smoke. It gave time for forZe to reposition in towards the bomb site, and it means at least they will be ready as this push begins to come in. Still slowly actually clearing out this mid area. I mean, they're taking their time right now, Sprout are, but I guess they're also trying to make forZe continue to question whether it is this full commitment or not, and it seems to have been successful enough to keep the 3 players in position.
There's one way that forZe win this now, and it's multiple kills from those 2 players inside of the site with 25 seconds left. Sprout need to get in cleanly. The rotations will start to come through. Is it going to be too little too late, though? An MP9 and a Deagle between Sprout and this A site. zorte starts as he means to go on. The MP9 combines with him beautifully. They'll lose 1, but it's not actually either of the site players. They caught the rotation, but not the frag. Lax goes in for the no-scope to find it, and surely that's not how they break it open. 2 on 3. They're trying to charge up short. It's not going to happen. Shalfey, with all he can do is 1, and that is it. 16-6, 2-0. Sprout continuing their magic streak, you have to say. A dominant first half converted on, and just like that, they find themselves continuing in the upper bracket. forZe, unfortunately, will be dropping